What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 23rd episode of Week in Review. My name is Sean, and on this week's show we have two games. We're going to look forward to what's new, and I'll give you some suggestions so that you're all ready for Hoop Fest. We will start on the game side this week. We have two games to talk about, and the first one is going to be the Crew 2 Open Beta. I played about 2 hours of it, and I actually really liked it. I think it's a great improvement on a game that I liked in the Crew. I think the setup is way better. Having a like a festival type vibe makes way more sense for an open world game than the previous story, which was like your brother got shot or something. I don't know. It was really dumb and didn't really work. But this works because it makes the races more interesting, more fun, and like logically more interesting and fun. Like, oh, there are ramps all over the city because this company called Live or whatever has come in because they want to film cool stuff to get more followers and blah 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 blah. It's similar to what Forza Horizon 3 did with like the festival, and you get new followers to upgrade the festival and that sort of sense of progression. And I think that actually works really well. From the last game, they kept the motorcycles and the vehicle, the four-wheel vehicles, be it street races or the off-road stuff. And those all are really great. I didn't use any of the motorcycles in this particular beta, but I did mess around with the off-road stuff and the street vehicle stuff, and I thought they handled really well, and I felt effective using them. The other two events, which are new to this particular series, are planes and boats, and I wasn't super big on either of them. I was really against them at first, and then I went back in, played some more, and I like the boats a little bit more, though it does feel like it's a little bit too easy to get off course, like one wrong bump of the control stick, and all of a sudden you've turned 90 degrees and probably lost the race. After coming back to them, I liked them a little bit more, but they still weren't super great. On the other hand, the plane stuff just wasn't interesting to me. The planes aren't very fast, and the events aren't super interesting, so that seems like the vehicle that I'm going to use the least. It does, on the plus side, it does allow you to traverse the area much more quickly, as in you can fly over the top of things instead of trying to drive. One of the gripes I do have about the beta is, for some reason, when I was on the ground, the GPS wasn't great, and it just told me to go like in a straight line, because I was in the southwest corner of the map. It's like Las Vegas or somewhere in that area. And I wanted to go up to the northwest to go see Seattle, because that's what I did in the first Crew beta, and I thought that'd be fun to redo. But for some reason, it didn't put me on the roads. It just said, like, go northwest. And then I ended up in the middle of the Grand Canyon, and it was a whole mess. And if you're wondering, if you're like, but Sean, Las Vegas isn't close to the Grand Canyon. The map isn't, like, 100% accurate to where things are. Like, Seattle is not 35 miles away from Las Vegas. It's a very messed up map that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But it's a wide open area to explore, and that is really cool. I like that a lot in the first game. Glad to see it back in the second game. I think it's super interesting. I think this game has a good sense of progression. Anytime you complete any sort of event, a lot of other stuff pops up on the map and starts to kind of get you going to like, oh, I'll go do this race, but since I'm here, I'll do this speed trap or this slalom or this drift or whatever. There are a bunch of little mini challenges littered throughout the whole map. And those are interesting. They were in the first game, and in the first game, completing the challenges at higher levels unlocked upgrades for your car, like higher upgrades for your car. In this particular game, there's a loot system. When you complete races, you get random loot, from what I can tell. I don't have a ton of experience with that, so I could be wrong on that. It could be really interesting. It could also be really infuriating. Feels like a toss-up. Not really sure. I mean, I wrote on my notes, like, it could be cool, but it could also be a ginormous pain in the butt if you're looking for one thing. In the previous game, you were able to set what you were looking for and find events that allowed you to get those upgrades. I'm interested to see how the loot system plays out in this particular game. I think it's a smart idea. But I'm not super sure on that. I think this beta did its job in making me excited for the game. Like I said, I liked the first Crew game. I thought it was very good. I wasn't super excited about this. I was super iffy on the planes and the boats, and I'm still pretty iffy on both of those. But I think this beta did its job in the fact that I'm excited and I want to jump back into this game. I actually stopped myself. I was like, just 2 hours, that's fine. You have a hint of what it is. You've seen some new stuff. You get the old stuff. There's a couple things that I didn't really dive into all that much, and the beta did feel like it was a very early part of the game, so I didn't want to progress too far into it just to backtrack and redo it all over again here somewhat soon. But, color me excited for this particular game. More excited than I was, but still kind of like not super thrilled about one of the vehicle types in the plane and pretty 50-50 on the boats. So we'll see kind of what happens as the game releases. It comes out later this week, as we'll talk about what's new. And I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if it'll be like a day one purchase, but I can imagine this would be a great summer game to pick up and mess around with. Our other game this week is the Dream Game, as in Sean's childhood dream going back to when he was just a wee young boy, like 5 years old, and all he wanted to do was be a bus driver. I bought Bus Simulator 16 and I played it for a couple of hours and I totally loved it. And I really wish my computer was better because it does not run well on my computer, and if it did run better on my computer, I would be playing it right now instead of making this video. Or I'd be making this video while I play the game, telling all the passengers on my bus how awesome this game is. I love this game. This is a game made for me. You make routes for buses, and then you pick up passengers, and you dispense fares and transfers and passes, and oh man, it's just so exciting. I really, really like it. I was walking into work this morning from the bus stop, and I was just thinking about, like, I unlocked this new area, and now I have to figure out how do I connect the routes that I already have to other routes in a different area, and how much overlap do I want between the stops, and like, it just got my brain going in a way that I'm sure I thought of as a kid, and it's cool to be, in that mental space as, a 28-year-old Grumposaurus, like, to go back and just be like, I want to just sit on the computer and like play around with the routes and pick where I want stops to go, and I don't even care that it doesn't like look great graphically or like whatever. Like, I had a blast playing this game. Like, you open the doors and you close the doors, and then I didn't know the controls very well, so I was like trapped in the garage for a while just banging on the door, help, I can't get out, and I was stuck in my seat for a while looking around hoping that someone would open the doors. Hello? Help? It was so much fun. Oh man, I like this game so much. This game also has like a creation tool, so you can design your buses however you want. You can pick the colors, and you can put little emblems on them. So one of my buses had like a little paw print, like a cougar paw print on the top of it, and I was like, all right, cool, like whatever. You can get sponsorships, and you can have ads on the side of your bus or on the top of your bus, and get some extra revenue that way. Oh man, I really, really like this game. I really like it a lot. It's really fun. It's a game that definitely strikes a certain chord with me because I love this stuff. I love buses, and I love the, public transit system sort of stuff. I'm hoping that like I can make like a bus station and like have all my routes connect into it and then go out, and I really need to dive in more to it, but unfortunately my computer, like I said, doesn't run super great, so maybe I'll look into some upgrades for that, and I'll figure out if I can do a little bit more with this particular game. And they have had a couple of newer versions of the game, including Bus Simulator 18, which just came out a couple weeks ago. I mentioned it on this show. But if this one doesn't really run on my computer, there's no way in hell the other game is going to run. Doesn't matter. I was playing it at like a chuggy, like 9 frames a second, and I was having a blast. So I recommend checking it out if you like that sort of thing. I should get a steering wheel. That'd be a good idea. But I really, really like this game, and I'm hoping that I can play more sometime soon. It is the final weekend of June here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest in the lilac city of Spokane, Washington, and it's time for my personal favorite event of the year, Spokane Hoop Fest. So I've gone through and I've picked 4 things for you to watch so you get in the basketball mood. Well, 3 of them are going to get in the basketball mood, and one of them, I bet, is a joke you'll see coming from a mile away, but I'm going to stick to it, and I'm going to do it anyway. My first pick is Space Jam. I really, really like that movie, and I think it'll get you in the basketball mood. It's also funny and lighthearted, so that'll, hopefully de-level your stress when you're dealing with people who have brought strollers that they have just left in the middle of the sidewalk because there's only 2 lanes they can get through, and they have decided to take both of them to talk to their friend. Don't be a grump like me. Watch Space Jam and go down in a happy mood. You can also watch the movie Semi-Pro. It's not great, but it's basketball related, and Andre 3000's in it, so there you go. That's more than enough reason to watch Semi-Pro. It's also, Will Ferrell's in it, and Woody Harrelson. It's like a good cast, but not a great movie, but I still enjoy it. Also, we saw someone play as Jackie Moon down there a few years ago, and that was pretty cool. They were actually a whole team of Will Ferrell characters, the Notorious Flopping Fish. Shout out to them. Third on my list is obviously the basketball episode of The Office. It's the 4th episode of the 1st season. Boy, I hope I'm right on that. And it's absolutely fantastic. It's a great episode of The Office. It's a great episode of a great television show, and it's funny. I've picked all just comedies at this point because I know that you need to de-stress, okay? And the final, most perfect movie of all that you can watch is our comedy gem, Napoleon Dynamite. Again, this doesn't have anything to do with basketball at all. I think Summer Wheatley shoots basketball hoops, so there you go. There's your connection to basketball. But it's also, 1, it's the greatest movie ever, so it's perfect for any mood. And 2, like I was saying, watching Space Jam, if you watch Space Jam and Napoleon Dynamite, that lady who left her stroller right in the way, or that guy who has the backpack that's way too big, or that couple that decided to bring their dog down because it's not, even though it's a dog-free event, you're not going to be stressed because you're going to have laughed heartily before you even went down. So you go watch your friends dunk on people. There's no dunking actually in Hoopfest. I forgot about that. Go watch some Elite games, watch some comedies, go down, be less stressed, have a good time, enjoy this lovely picture of Napoleon. Look at that perfect man. Look at this perfect movie. Perfect. And those are some picks for you to get into the basketball mood. Finally on the show, we have What's New. There wasn't really anything that stuck out in theaters. Uncle Drew was out this week, and that looked like it was kind of fun. It's also a movie that's related to basketball, so it would be perfect for the Hoopfest weekend. On Blu-ray, 5 Mission Impossible movies are on 4K, so you have that, the first 5 of those. And the movie Terminal is out as well with Margot Robbie, Simon Pegg, and Mike Myers, which never made it here and seemed kind of interesting, so I might check that out. Obviously, and I'm a big Simon Pegg fan as well. He's behind me. Right, there's Sean. And then there's Sean. And then there he is, Nicholas Angel. So, big fan of Simon Pegg. Finally, on the game side, we have a bunch of new stuff out this week. The Crew 2, which I talked about a little bit earlier, is out Tuesday if you buy the Gold Edition, Friday if you buy the regular edition. I'll probably just pick up the regular edition. Another Ubisoft game in Far Cry 3 Classic Edition, which is a game that has been available to Far Cry 5 Season Pass holders for about a month now, is now a standalone release, so you can go pick that up if you so desire. The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit is also out as well. It's actually, I believe it's sitting on my hard drive right now. It said it was ready to start, so looking forward to that. Unfortunately, there aren't any achievements for it, but that's okay. The game looks interesting, and it looks like Life is Strange is coming out. Episode 1, at least, is coming out in September. Life is Strange 2, that is. So looking forward to doing that. Nier Automata, I'm not really sure. Become as Gods edition, which is like the Game of the Year edition for the Xbox One, is out this week, as well as Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, which hits Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. Wolfenstein 2 is also out on the Switch. Whew, that's a lot of games. Thank you so much for watching the 23rd episode of Week in Review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm having a blast making it. Hope you're having a blast watching it. If I missed anything or you're excited about something that I'm not talking about, which I guess would qualify as me missing it, let me know down in the comments below. While you're there, hit that subscribe button. That way you know when I go posting new videos. I was going to say go live, but when new videos go live would be the better way to say that. I figured it out. I fixed my sentence in the middle of it. Now I'm still just talking for no particular reason. Hey, that's what you come to this show for. Be sure to check back next Tuesday and every Tuesday after that for more games and movies and comics and random crap that I found on the side, not the sidewalk, but on the shelves. That's what I was looking for. Immediately thought, I pick stuff off the sidewalk, and that's kind of weird, but I do it anyway. Anyway, check back for all that good stuff. Next week is the Q2 in review / half year in review. So I'll give you my picks of the best games and movies from the last quarter, and we'll compare them with the first quarter results, and we'll kind of fill out those lists a little bit more. So be sure to check in for that. I'm pretty excited to dive back in and see kind of where things stand, though I have a pretty good idea. But check back next week for all of that stuff. Until next time, bye. I didn't hit my elbow that time. Yes.